I just wanted to take a second before my very special 7 years with my partner, whom I love very much. Sorry for the messy house in the background. Well, it's not all messy. Flowers. But I just wanted to, I put on my jewelry. This is some stuff I got in Santa Fe, or near Albuquerque. This is from my nephew-to-be, Josiah. This is from my niece, Brooklyn. This is from my niece, Alice. If you're a niece or nephew and you want to be included, just make me something. Anyway, but I had forgotten about, well, not this, although I love this. I just got that. That has, like a month or two ago, it has a little yellow stone in the middle. I don't know if you can see it. Yellow's my favorite. But this, I got this. You can watch the video of the song that I wrote if you type in maybe Holland, Michigan, or Trauma, Jessica and Rainbow on YouTube. I can't remember when it's from. I think sometime in October. It was really heavy for me, 2020. But it was such a profound experience that afterwards, I was right by Holland State Park, and they have little like tourist type shops, and it was the end of summer, I think, or early fall. Anyway, I bought myself something to sort of commemorate it, and it never had a specific meaning back then. It was like a $4 little turtle necklace, and now I just decided, after I put it on, my brain said, oh, it's my trauma turtle. So this is officially my trauma turtle, and I wear it to, well, now that I just gave it that meaning. I mean, I wear it very rarely, but when I see it, I remember that that was a special moment to me where I took power back. I didn't let the trauma define me. It was a moment where I said, this was a thing that had been happening to me that I was responding to, and I literally just went like that. And I was like, I am doing this to you, and it's not shoving it down, and it's not blocking it out and ignoring it in a cloud. It was the opposite. It was I went like that and spoke all the words that I wanted to speak, and I did them publicly. And they're on my YouTube. And I said the names, or I said something of, you know, what it was at its origins, and a ton of my songs are similar to this. They just didn't go all the way back to the origins. This moment did. I don't want to be more specific than that for my own heart. I don't want to be, but other moments, you know, for like an ex-boyfriend or something, like in college that was abusive, there's, you know, I did the same concept. I physically drove myself back to a place where something horrible had happened to me, and I let myself grieve. That's really what this is. So I think my tummy's like, yes, you did it. It's, you know, I'm getting back, I'm reclaiming my gut instincts. My heart is thawing out, and it feels really weird to be in the world with those feelings. Like 2019 was the first time that even really happened. My heart thawed out over something I felt really guilty about with an ex, where I left somebody that I had seemed like I was going to stay with, but I had never been honest since when we first dated, and then he had talked me out of how I really actually felt, and then I tried to change how I felt by rewriting it in my mind, and you really can't do that. So then eventually I still ended up leaving, you know, even though he had tried to talk me out. So it was just like, just messy situations, and I had frozen my heart, and I didn't even know I had. So all of this is from, you know, unresolved trauma. Not that trauma is that easy to resolve. So I'm not even necessarily saying go down the path I've gone down, because look, you might just end up weird making YouTube videos like crazy, and there's no money in it. There's no reason to do this other than if you feel like a calling in your soul to kind of share what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. I mean, this is just like my philosophy behind the scenes, singer-songwriter, thousands of songs channel, where sometimes I write songs, but equally much, if not more, I feel called to just like share the inner workings of a sort of probably like Enneagram 4 tumultuous songwriter brain, where you just are perceiving life constantly through the lens of a writer, but you're also feeling life constantly through the lens of a writer, as in stereotypical constant, you know, pendulum and emotions and just everything really sensitive, or like an empath, you could say. So this trauma turtle, I decided, is because when you decide to heal trauma or reclaim yourself, if you want to do it the way they talk about in therapy, you don't have to. I have a lot of complex opinions about that. Like, another part of me wishes that I had just never gone down these rabbit holes and had just stayed on the path of keeping things repressed, because that's what the child brain does. Just kind of pushes them down or in. I had been given like visions when I was 4 years old of like, well, I've said it once before. It's a very sacred to me vision, but I'll share it. But it was like a vision of like, looked like rainbow bricks, and they were pastelish, and they kind of were pressing on my head. And somehow that was a moment for me of pressing in things that I didn't want to think about, maybe. I don't know. It was a child brain solution. I also had a fever at the time. Anyway, so Trauma Turtle, I just wanted to share that this is my little symbol of, this is like the you did it. You did it. You did it slow. You did it so slow that people thought you were losing your mind, or people thought you shouldn't be doing it. You did it so slow. It's like playing the board game, slow and steady wins the race. It's that. Because I feel so grounded in myself now, and so much myself now, because I understand these idiosyncrasies that came from things that had happened to me. And through healing them and forgiving people and forgiving myself for different choices that I made, I've been able to find my positive traits too, and find a lot of things about my life that I've loved. And that's what I'm returning back to nowadays. And I still play these songs, some of them being very heavy trauma songs, but I think that comes a little bit from a part of wanting to not forget, wanting to honor the things I've lived through. I don't want to just go like, boop, push pause or push stop. Now I'm done and now I'm going to be a totally different person. That's just not reality. So I'm learning how to perform my old songs without writing new trauma songs necessarily. Although, I continue to feel the world like an artist, like a poet, like a philosopher, like I continue to feel the world in the way I've always felt the world. But I do try to stay out of trauma holes, as I call them now. Like, I don't like to dig into things unnecessarily. I like to get right to forgiveness, right to prayer and meditation, right to like asking God to take it. If it's like a dark energy or some sort of evil trying to like magnetize to me or something, I try to be like, whoa. Like, if you feel it coming at you, you're just like, and then just like give it away to something else. Because like diving into it, like, I know what's there. I know what's at the bottom now. It's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. And at the absolute bottom is just, it's sorrow. It's grief. So just learning to grieve. Grieve the hard things about life. Grieve the pains as they happen, even if you think they're dumb. I was just rewatching a video as I was editing it, where I was like feeling really dumb for full-blown grieving, not getting to give someone a hug goodbye at some, someone I had hugged the whole time I had seen them, and then just there wasn't the official one, it was a niece. Anyway, but it was insane because like it was fine. So I was sitting here logic policing myself, like, why are you like straight up crying, grieving this, straight up grieving, like crying. It was crazy, but it would have made it worse if I had blocked it out and judged myself. I mean, I was alone, so there was no reason to block it out. Just let yourself cry, let it flow, and it's out. And then even after it happened, I tried to not judge myself for that. Yeah, maybe I was being too sensitive, but maybe not at all. Maybe it unlocked a certain thought process in my brain of, I want to be closer to nieces and nephews, or I want to spend more time with them, or I want to, like, grief is connected to want. Grief and pain are connected to joy and happiness. Like, if you don't know what to do with your life, or like what will bring you the greatest happiness, like, look at the things you're the most sad or upset about. Like, they're connected. It's not even this, it's this, I think we are meant to pay attention to even things like envy. We're meant to pay attention to envy, because envy is, in my opinion, and I think I read it somewhere once a long time ago, or I made it up, but I think I've read it. I think other people have said this, like, envy is a compass. I think maybe that's not how they said it. Who cares? I'm not trying to get famous on an idea. Someone told me I should make shirts and mugs over one of my thoughts. That was when I realized I might need to stop chasing coolness, because I love being warm. like affectionate, warm, open. And then I said something like, being warm is cool, or it's all right being cool, but I'd rather be warm. I don't know. And then she was like, you should put that on a mug. And it's like, I'm not trying to be that person. I'm trying to just, here's the thought, you go do it. I don't know. It's not that I wouldn't like the money from the mug sales. I'd love them. The mugs and the sales, but that's not my calling. So anyway, where's I going with that? Grief, joy, pain. Anyway, I don't remember. Okay, well, I'm going off on my 7-year anniversary / kissiversary date with Brian. It's weird that I want to wear a trauma turtle around my neck while also celebrating, but if you really believe in my songs, or in what I say in songs, you know, every joy sits on a spectrum, every pain connects at the bottom, in the middle is the point, you know. I don't want to dishonor the pains I've lived through. I don't want to act like they're not real anymore. I think I used to do that a lot when I was younger in order to be okay, but that's what swings people. So it's okay that, I mean, it's not great, but it's life. Bad things have happened to me and to everyone. And I think it's a special kind of skill to, like, learn how to say that out loud without attracting negativity. You know, I know that bad things happen, but I choose to focus on really good things. Like, even in a single day, if a couple bad moments happen, but a couple good ones happen, I push not push, it's not a forced thing, it's like a wisdom thing. And you can do it too. Just which one do you want more of that day? So think about that. You know, like, just think honestly about which thing you really want. And the thing you really want is the thing worth thinking about. And I think a lot of us, or at least me, I mean, I know me for sure on this, I didn't feel allowed to just keep my mind on the things I really want. And therapy is partly what messed me up on that. I thought I was supposed to keep thinking about the things I was unhappy about and collect them like data and then report them back to my therapist. And that actually really messed me up. It's the opposite of law of attraction. What are the worst things that have happened in your life, and how can we only talk about those things? And like, a life coach might be better, but therapy messed me up. I think it's okay, maybe in short phases of your life or when you're in crisis, but I don't think it's a good long-term idea. I think Woody Allen's the first one who really started talking about that, and people also started agreeing about that because he became, like, really intense psychoanalysis man. Anyway, here's a song I'm making up, and then I'm gonna go on my date. Just making sure I'm not late for my date. It's in 20 minutes. Okay. All the birds in my mind flying round for me to find little crumbs of bread or whole pieces of toast. All the little birds in the but that is not a problem to me. To me. It's kind of the whole thing I was seeking. It's kind of the whole thing we are seeking here. Otherwise we just stay up in the clouds. Where things are soft and never loud. But I came down for you, for me, for you too. Okay, I feel really inspired right now. I feel like I should do 2 more songs because that's what I always do when I feel inspired. It's a little hard to do them when you're rushing before your date, but that's okay. I promised myself I'd start recording these differently. I'm wrapping my own merch. I just remembered that. This was supposed to be under a sweater, but that's okay. There we go. All right, this is my task cam. And just in case I get one that I love, it doesn't happen very often, but you know, you never know. Might as well be recording these. Yeah, I've had both my friends. Record. All right. Number 2. You and me, we done Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm only gonna write the 2 because my aunt came downstairs. I'll bet he's ready to go. But he's very sweet. He would never hurry me. All right. Have a great day. I hope you keep finding ways along your own path in your heart. And yeah. All right. Bye.